Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, April the 1st, 2016. As you can see, it's still cloudy out. Nothing has changed. It was actually raining earlier, so I had to wait till the rain stopped. It's going to rain again shortly, but I got a few minutes leeway so I can get this video out. The forecast is going to be cloudy, rainy, and bleak every day, with the exception of Sunday, when it's going to actually snow in April. They're saying wet snow because it's going to get much colder. It's unusually mild now. It's about 60 degrees, but it's going to get very cold Saturday night and Sunday, maybe into the low 30s, which is not good. Just no end in sight. But let's get started with today's topics. We're going to talk about some eBay site glitches. We're going to talk about returns. We're also going to talk about some post office situation updates I have encountered and you have encountered. And we're going to discuss some other things that seem to concern you guys. So let's get started firstly with a rehash of last week's video. Last week's video, I mainly talked about the post office and how I tried to drop a box off at one of my alternate locations and how the post office worker would not let me drop it. He said I had to stand in line even though I had prepaid shipping label affixed to the box. Now we all know that is misinformation. I had asked you guys what you thought I should do, and I also asked this question on Facebook. And 90% of you guys said I should pursue it and report it, both on Facebook and here on YouTube. That was the sentiment. There were one or two people that said, well, Joe, I wouldn't report it only because they feared reprisals. I don't live in fear. I don't work that way. But I see their point. Anyway, a rehash on what happened with that incident was I didn't make a complaint to the postmaster of that outlet because I really didn't have the time, nor did I feel it was the right thing to do. But I did feel that this particular worker needs to be educated on what the rules are. So it so happens I know somebody, and I told them this story, and they in turn contacted the postmaster of that particular branch, explained what had happened, and the postmaster said that this employee would be told the correct procedure to make, so hopefully there won't be any more problems in that end. No one's going to get in trouble, don't worry. I made sure. But the person does need to be educated on the correct way of doing business in the post office, period. Do you know how hard it is to get fired from a post office job? Guys, it's almost impossible to do. So nothing's going to come of it that way, so don't worry, his job is safe. But at least, hopefully, there won't be any misinformation spread about dropping off prepaid items. A very interesting comment was made on last week's video between two of you guys, specifically Rick Mayer and Brillo Pad 6901. You two guys were discussing an incident where I believe Rick Mayer had brought a stack of boxes to a particular post office, and the worker behind the counter was unhappy because he claimed his office was not getting credit for those boxes. I want to talk about that because I talked about this several months ago and it seemed it's still going on. Let me explain what that means. When you guys print your labels, you may notice, or maybe you never noticed, that there is a zip code. Your home zip code is printed where your house or your business is registered, which is your main post office zip code. That is the post office that gets the credit for processing your items. So my local post office is where I go every day with a big stack of items, and they get the credit. Occasionally, like I told you last week, I'll go to a different post office, maybe with one item. But it's registered as being shipped from my local post office, so the offshoot post office doesn't get any credit. Now, most post offices don't care because they do a pretty good volume. But if you go to a slow, backwoods, backwater post office that doesn't get much foot traffic, they are going to get pissed off if you come in with your prepaid labels stating they're being shipped from another location. This happened to me about 6 months ago. I walked in to a post office, not my main one, with a stack of boxes. They processed them, no problem. It so happens I went in the next day, which I usually don't, because I don't go in there that often, with only a couple of boxes. And this time the worker's looking at them, making all funny faces, twisting his face. So I know he's got something on his mind. I say, is there a problem? And he says, well, yeah. He says, we're not getting credit for this. I said, what do you mean? Because I was under the impression once he scanned it in, he got the credit at that post office. He says, no, look, he says to me, you have your local post office zip code. They're getting the credit for this, not us, and we're doing all the work. So if you're going to come in here with these boxes anymore, I would appreciate you changing the zip code to this post office. I thought that was kind of weird. So at the time, I went back to my home post office and I explained it to them. And I also mentioned it on Facebook. And I totally understand what the guy was saying. Like with Rick Mayer. I imagine the post office where that guy broke your balls is a post office that doesn't do much business. That's why he wasn't happy with you bringing in those prepaid labels with another zip code on them. So, I mean, he's asking you to change the zip code to his particular branch if you're going to bring boxes into him. So what I did, ever since I got a bad taste in my mouth 6 months ago, I don't even go there anymore. Screw that. I'll go to my home post office, even if it's a little out of my way if I have another errand to do. But like I said, last week I went to yet a different post office where the guy broke my balls and made me wait online. Another question I have for you guys regarding the post office, when you bring your drop-offs and you're having them scanned in, have you noticed that there is a new system now that's a little bit more involved? This just started here, maybe about a few days ago or a week ago, where they have to not only scan it in, but there's a few more buttons on their terminal that they got to punch in. And it seems a little bit more involved, but I just figured I'd bring that up for you guys right now. So basically, that's where we are with the post office scene. Keep two things in mind, guys. Number one, you are allowed to drop your prepaid boxes off. All right? There are some post offices that may break your balls, like I got mine broken last week, but they are wrong. All right? If you have a prepaid label, you are allowed to drop your boxes off. You don't have to wait online. And number two, with regards to the zip code, if you're registered at a particular post office, the zip code will show up on your labels. That is why there are some offshoot post offices where you go to occasionally that may get mad because they're not getting the credit. Again, if it's a big post office, don't worry about it. But if it's a small jerkwater town, they may give you a little hassle. Next thing I want to jump on to is refunds. The first quarter is now officially over, and many of you guys have probably checked your sales on PayPal and looked at your records. I would like to do something that I do every quarter. I want to tell you the amount of refunds I had to give on eBay. And I challenge anybody to surpass me. I'll get to that in a second. My refunds in January, $116.95. That is good news. I love that. I would sign for that every month. February, my returns, $336.90. That is basically about average for me. I'm telling you, I get a lot of freaking returns. March, sit down, $553.90. Here's the challenge, right here. Can any one of you guys surpass that figure for either January, February, or March of this year and substantiate it? I'm only talking about eBay. I don't care about Etsy. I don't care about the river. I'm talking about eBay. Can any one of you guys surpass $553.90 for any 1 month in 2016? Comment below and substantiate it. Now I'd like to talk about site glitches. I read your comments in last week, and there were a couple of people that commented they had encountered site glitches. Well guys, to you guys, don't feel bad. I encountered those same glitches. I did not mention them because I had too many other things to talk about, but I'm going to mention them now. First, last week's glitches, the ones you guys encountered. I was printing out labels one day. I don't remember what day it was, but let's just say it was Wednesday. Printing out labels with no problem. I go to print out another label, and I get an error message saying this function cannot be completed at this time. I tried it again, nothing. I changed browsers, still getting an error message. Jump onto the Facebook groups, and I posted a screen cap of the error message, and I asked everyone if they were getting the same thing. Sure enough, some were, but not all. I had people saying, yes, the same thing is happening to me, I can't print any labels, but yet there were other people saying, I'm printing like crazy, no problems. I didn't make a big thing of that glitch because it only lasted about an hour, and then bang, right to normal. I also encountered a glitch this morning, Friday morning, which kind of pissed me off a little bit. A person wrote to me through the eBay contact system asking for some clarification on some items I had listed. A totally legit question. So I decided to respond to him with some pictures of the close-ups to help the guy out. So I took the pictures. I went to add them in eBay messages. As you know, you can send pictures in eBay messages. And all I was getting was error message saying there was a problem with the server. Once again, I screen capped the error message and I posted it on Facebook. This is probably something many of you guys are not experiencing because I don't think too many of you guys have to add pictures in your eBay contact messages. It's something I do periodically. Those landscapers again. You know, I'm telling you, I swear to God, they were out there for 1 hour earlier. 1 hour straight. So I purposely had to wait till they got done. As soon as they got done, I started this video, and they're right back at it again. Well, you'll have to put up with it for the rest of the video, because I'm running late here, guys. As far as the error message goes, I don't think many of you guys would be upset with this particular error message because I don't think many of you guys actually add pictures to your eBay messages. But if you do, let me know about it and let me know if you're experiencing any problems today, Friday, April 1st, 2016. I would like to know now how your sales were for the week. Were they good? Were they great? Were they terrible? Mine were very good, knock wood. That's why when I read these amounts of returns I'm getting, I mean, I'm a little bit upset with the $553 one, but that $116 one doesn't bother me in the slightest. I would sign right now to automatically get $116 worth of returns every month because, man, I do get them. Mainly because people purchase the wrong size. That's the main problem. And then the second main problem is because some people think they're getting 4 items instead of 1. That one baffles me. I can totally understand people buying the wrong size. It happens. People do not know their cause. They have a valid excuse. But when people think they're getting 4 instead of just 1, that is not valid in my opinion. But it's something you got to put up with. This week on Facebook in one of the groups, there was a person complaining about a SNAD return, significantly not as described, and how the buyer lied and gave her a hard time and all that. And I responded that I get way more returns than her. I said, listen, I said, I feel your pain, but listen, I get way, way, way more returns than you. She was talking about one $30 return. I said, to be honest though, I got to give the people credit. Even though I get a lot of returns, I rarely ever get a snag return. The people usually man up and say they bought the wrong size, or they contact me directly, they call me, they tell me they bought the wrong size. Usually I like to give them a refund. It's easier for me and it's cheaper. They just send the item back to me and I'll give them a full refund. Because if they want to exchange it, then I have to send them another item and I'm paying double shipping. Because I give everybody free shipping. So I send them the item number 1, that's free shipping. Then that comes back, then I send item number 2, and that's free shipping. So I lose more on an exchange than on a refund. But anyway, that basically covers it for today. Guys, always, I'm Crazy New York Driver, you're not. Thanks for watching. I'm cutting it short because of these guys. They're milking this job over here. I don't know what they're doing. But comment on your post office experiences and your returns or anything you want eBay related. And I'll see you guys next week, and I'll bet 2 things. I'm putting money out there right now. I'm betting number 1, nobody watching this video can beat $553.90 in any month this quarter on eBay and be able to substantiate it. Or, second bet, next Friday, I bet it's going to be cloudy like it always is. Thanks for watching. Rock on. Peace!